The Realme 6 caught us all by surprise. It comes with a 90Hz display, a punch-hole camera, 30-watt fast charging, and the Mediatek Helio G90T chip inside. All this at a very affordable price. So, is this the budget phone to buy today, or has Realme cut some corners that we've not really noticed? Let's find out in this review. Hey guys, Ash here from C4eTech, and if you do end up liking what you see, please subscribe and turn on notifications by hitting that bell icon. Let's now get started. So we've been using this phone for over 2 weeks now, and the one thing that's really been impressive here is the smoothness of this display. This 6.5-inch IPS panel, it comes with a 90Hz refresh rate. In fact, Realme 6 is the first phone under 15,000 rupees to have a high refresh rate panel like this, and it really makes a difference to the whole usability, to the whole user experience. Yes, some might claim there's no difference between a 60Hz and a 90Hz panel, but when you actually use these displays, then you'd notice how different it is. People who've not really used it might not know much, because on paper it might not seem like a big deal, but it actually is, not just with gaming, but even with day-to-day tasks. The Realme 6, it fares very well in this regard. So what about everything else apart from the refresh rate? Now, with the display, this is a 20:9 aspect ratio Full HD Plus panel. There's a punch hole to the top left where the 16-megapixel selfie snapper sits. The bezels surrounding it are pretty slim. In fact, Realme claims a screen-to-body ratio of over 90%. And for an IPS panel, this one does well with the punchy colors and so on. Now, the only con here is that it kind of struggles under direct sunlight. Even at max brightness, at times I felt like the text was kind of difficult to read. And it's also worth keeping in mind that Redmi's gone with Gorilla Glass 3 here. That kind of seems regressive, since the Realme 5 had Gorilla Glass 3 Plus and the Realme 3 before that had Gorilla Glass 5. Okay, so the next impressive thing about the Realme 6 is that Mediatek Helio G90T chip. We all know how this chip performs. We've seen it on the last generation Redmi Note 8 Pro. So it wasn't a big surprise when it managed to chew through every game that we threw at it. But the combination of the 90Hz refresh, the 120Hz touch sampling, and the gaming-focused Mali G76 GPU meant that games felt smoother than they have ever on a phone in this price bracket. Of course, we also tried out games with support for higher refresh rates, and even there, the G90T continued to impress. Now, I know quite a few people who dismiss MediaTek chips as being subpar, but honestly, the G90T here, it's capable of even taking on the Qualcomm competition, especially when it comes to GPU scores. Just look at these benchmarks, the G90T versus the Snapdragon 720G on the Realme 6 Pro. It's also worth noting that Realme have solved a couple of issues. For example, the PUBG issue with where at first we didn't have the extreme frame rate option in PUBG when playing on smooth detail levels, and HD detail didn't come with the ultra option, but that's been fixed. Also, initially we experienced some random freezes with Realme UI a couple of times, but the update also fixed it. So Realme has been paying attention to the phone, and as far as the software experience goes, Realme UI, all the features that we've seen in the past, including audio share and game space, they've been included here. My favorite's gotta be the system-wide dark mode. Yes, this is not AMOLED, but dark mode, it still looks soothing. Okay, kind of got sidetracked by the software there. So wrapping up performance, we've got 4, 6 or 8 gigs of RAM coupled with 64 or 128 gigs of storage. Realme have gone for LPDDR4X RAM and high-speed UFS 2.1 storage for the Realme 6, which again is excellent for the price. Oh, and we also get a dedicated microSD option, so storage expansion is taken care of too. Next up, let's talk battery. Here we have a 4300 mAh unit that easily lasts a single day with heavy usage as well. In fact, Amartya, who primarily tested out this phone, ended most of his days with over 25% left in the tank. So battery life is pretty decent. What's even more impressive is the 30-watt fast charger that Realme is included here. In our charging test, we found out that this 30-watt flash charger can take the Realme 6 from 0 to 100 in just an hour and 10 minutes. Also impressive is the fact that Realme have managed to cram in this 4300 mAh battery without pushing the weight upwards of 200 grams. At 191 grams and 8.9 millimeters of thickness, the Realme 6 is not the sleekest of phones out there, but in hand, it feels quite good. The back, it is plastic, and while I understand Realme did that to keep costs low and also keep the weight down, I did miss the premium feel of glass. Maybe next time? Anyway, one good thing here is that the Realme 6 comes with a seal and anti-dust mesh on the ports as well as the loudspeaker, so it should be able to take a splash or two. Speaking of ports, we have a headphone jack here, and the sound output through it was really good. We have real sound, which boosts the sound through the earphones. There's even an inbuilt equalizer available. The sound through the loudspeaker, it's alright. The volume levels are good, but the overall output felt a little flat. We have a side-mounted fingerprint scanner here. It's integrated into the power button, and during our time with the Realme 6, it was quick and posed no issues. Face unlock is also present and worked as fast as ever. The only thing missing is a notification LED. Okay, let's now talk cameras. We are no strangers to this primary camera. It's a 64 megapixel Samsung ISOCELL Bright GW1. We've seen it on multiple phones in the past. Under good light, it takes some amazing shots, great detail, punchy colors, and even the dynamic range is pretty good. Just look at the shadows of this tree. The f1.8 lens gives a good deal of separation of the subject and background. The low light shots, they aren't quite as impressive. The dedicated night mode does help the pictures turn out bright, but the detail levels aren't quite there, and in some of the images, the night sky has a lot of noise in it. Then there's an 8 megapixel sensor paired with the f2.3 ultra-wide lens, a 119-degree field of view ultra-wide lens. It takes some nice looking shots, bright punchy colors with decent detail levels. We also have a 2 megapixel macro option, which is average at best. As far as rear portraits go, the 2 megapixel depth sensor does a good job with edge detection. The subject appears to be sharp and the skin tones are left natural. Zooming in though, we can see some over sharpening at some instances. The 16 megapixel sensor for the selfie camera, that's still Sony's IMX471. Realme's been using it for quite a while. It takes good looking selfies with nice skin tones. Even the portraits have nice edge reduction, so no complaints. We can record videos at 4K. The resulting footage is sharp with vibrant colors, but is shaky because there's no stabilization at this resolution. For stabilization, we'd have to step down to 1080p, and the footage becomes more usable. So the verdict on cameras, Realme have done really well, especially with the primary camera. It does a fantastic job in nicely lit conditions. The video recording capabilities are quite good too. Realme's even promised to add UIS max video stabilization and 120 FPS low fees to the Realme 6 later on via software updates. Okay, so at the time of unboxing this phone, the Realme 6, it was priced at 13,000 rupees for the base variant. However, due to the GST hike, phone prices have been increased across the board from all major smartphone brands. So the Realme 6 it now retails at 14,000 rupees for the base variant, and even at that price, it appears to be a solid buy. Now, Realme has positioned the Realme 6 as an upgrade to the Realme 5 Pro and not the 5. 6 is the new Pro and all that. So considering that, the Realme 5 Pro, it did start at 14,000 rupees. So at the same price, the Realme 6 seems to offer a substantial upgrade. We have a 90Hz display, a more powerful SoC, 30-watt fast charging, and very good optics for the price. So despite the price hike, I'd still have no qualms recommending the Realme 6. So that's my review for this phone. Now tell me what you feel. If you're looking for a phone in the under 15,000 price segment, would you consider the Realme 6? Why? Why not? Let me know via the comments below. And also, if you're still confused between the Realme 6 and say the Redmi Note 9 Pro, here's a card. I have a dedicated comparison video. And with that, we get to the end of this review. Thumbs up, thumbs down based on whatever you felt about it. Subscribe, turn on notifications by hitting that bell icon if you haven't yet. And thanks a lot for watching. Till next time, my name's Ash. You've been watching C4E Tech, and I'm signing off for now. You guys have a great day. Bye-bye.